What's up, y'all? I'm back. You're back. We back for Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 6, episode 22. You know what I'm about to say. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into Huntsville. Ciao. They still fighting over at Kiki and Maurice's house. Um, what's his man? Is charging like a bull, and Martell is hiding behind Kimmy. It's a mess. Kimmy, then she starts pushing Kiki out, like quite aggressively, as a matter of fact. She trying to get her out, like she at one point their arms was all twisted up. Martell just sitting back. He was like, the ladies keep up mess. They keep talking about stuff and they keep up a lot of drama. They should learn to be more like the guys, because the guys just be chill. I guess Martell forgot he was down to the Madani grand opening in fisticuffs with Marceau. Marceau is the common denominator. It seems like he's the one that's always fighting with people. It's because his fat mouth keeps saying stuff that gets people upset, and he does it on purpose, usually with women. This time, the woman brought a charging bull with her, so he wasn't prepared for the fallout. I don't think. He thought of me, to move that fast or something. Kimmy and Maurice are sitting there talking about, you can't be defending something that's wrong. He should have removed her from the situation. It really wasn't no way for him to remove her from the situation. Before anybody looked up, Tisha was eating that glass of water or whatever it was that Kiki slung at her. There was no intervening her and removing her from the situation. Kiki and her professional talking about she is 100% sure she can pass a drug test. What she wants to have happen is for Marceau to take a lie detector test. I want both of them to stop confusing these conversations. Every time Marceau tries to defend himself, he does it in a way that is him trying to paint Kiki out to be a liar and a drug addict. He's very adamant on, debunking her story. It really don't matter what she's saying, Marceau. It's not a whole lot that she could say that's gonna adjust our opinion of you. I feel like whether you cheated or not, we're still not gonna think no different. It's the neither here nor there type situation. So the fact that he tries so hard to discredit Kiki makes me feel like, Marceau, why are you so worried about what Kiki's saying if it ain't true? And Kiki, we don't care. Worry about yourself, because it looked like you got a lot going on. Nobody should be able to be anywhere public screaming across the room how you need to be drug tested. Had you walked in there and not engaged with that lady who had no obligation to talk to you, then this wouldn't even be a conversation. And I guess we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. Yeah, we would have, because Tiffany soon came to the cookout. So surely she would have gave us something to talk about. But in the real realm of things, you and Tisha are not cool, and there's no reason for you to keep discussing her marriage. She don't want you to. She don't want the proof. She don't want to know about it. She don't want it. And you keep talking about it. I don't know where I left off. My daughter came here, child. I think I said nobody should be able to call you out of the cookout to be asking you to take a drug test. Like, you know what I'm saying? So both Kiki and Marceau are on bullshit and need to, I just want Kiki to focus on her own shit. Once they get escorted from the barbecue, Mel and Stormy go out front to check on Kiki and see if she's okay. Mel is pretty much like, Kiki, what transpired? Like, did somebody say something to you or do something to you to make you react that way? And she was pretty much like, nah, she would disrespect me by not speaking to me, and said hi to my husband, didn't say hi to me. Yeah, she did do that. And I feel like she did that I feel like her intention was to piss Kiki off. Kiki admits that she could have met Tisha with the same energy, and she should have, because at the end of the day, you're having an out loud, like none of that was cool. You're having an out loud discussion about her marriage in front of cameras at a cookout when she don't want to talk about it. She don't even want to talk to you. So yeah, you look a fool, Kiki. And if it's not drugs and you're that angry, then you need to get some help. I feel like I've said it before. Marcel says that Kiki is jealous of Tisha's life. Maybe just jealous that Tisha's on the show. I feel like Kiki would have liked to get in this position that she's one of the main characters on the show, because even now she's just Tisha's cousin, and now she up here, with this narrative that she's Tisha's cousin with a drug addiction problem who can't control herself in public. And she wasn't that when she started, but that's what it has turned into. Kiki struggles with addiction. I don't know that her and her husband are struggling financially. I don't think that's the case. I mean, that's not, nobody has ever said that before. Nobody's envying y'all's life, child. Y'all over here with construction happening everywhere, lawsuits, cheating allegations and rumors. I don't really think Kiki's jealous of that. I mean, it's seeming like her husband actually likes her, unlike Marceau, who pretty much never treats Tisha like he likes her, except for when he's being accused of cheating on her. Then all of a sudden he wants to show this united front in their whole ass team, which we're like, last week y'all wasn't a team. Now you're a team. Okay. Kiki says she's done with it. Tisha said she's done with it. I think they've been done with it and they should stay done with it. I think that just because she's your cousin doesn't mean y'all gotta engage, because clearly it's not. At this point, it's gone far beyond. And y'all both said that y'all been, going at each other since you were children. So maybe it's never been a thing. It ain't supposed to be a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. As long as your situation, Tisha, is over there as raggedy as it appears to be, the streets is always going to be talking about Marcel. They are always going to be talking about y'all's financial situation, because you and Marcel are out here playing a game of, I'm gonna wrap a Lamborghini or whatever the hell that is he's driving, a spaceship looking thing, in yellow wrapping paper, rather than finish, one of these projects. Anyone, pick one. There's 12. Y'all keep standing on rocks with shovels and bows and things, and nothing is ever getting accomplished. So as long as y'all keep doing what you're doing, the street's gonna be talking anyway. You don't need Kiki for that, because somebody gonna bring it up. Here comes Tiffany after the whole brawl. But I don't know if it's good or not. She wasn't there to witness it, but she definitely had her 2 cents. She came in there alone with baby Ace. And I'm wondering, did Lou check completely out of his marriage, or was T? Because Lou didn't seem like he was gone like this before. I'm just saying. Tiffany got a big mouth, and she's always had that. Like, since we met her, we were like, where the hell is this lady coming with this big mouth of hers, trying to get all in people's business, calling them out on, their personal shit. And then Lou, of course, came like the big nice guy that had to be stuck with Tiffany. But Lou's being mean. Baby Ace is cute. Lou's being mean. You got a son, bruh. Like, at the point in which you agreed to have a baby, all the rules change. You can't stop punishing her. That's weird. If you don't want to be on the show, then say, look, I don't want to be on the show. But I don't know. Anyway, Kimmy got a Jeep. Gently drove it through the backyard, and Kimmy got excited and left y'all's ass arguing. I don't blame Kimmy. I want a Jeep. And if I get a Jeep, I'm not going to sit around listening to y'all argue either. I'm going to be driving around in my city with the top down. All of the people minus Kimmy and her best friend, because they went on a ride, are sitting around discussing what just happened, at the table, about the rumors that are going around. And Tiffany said, what did she say? She said the worst people to have around are people who have nothing to lose. And of course, Tisha's like, I know, and that's why I have them around, because I work too hard and come too far to let somebody who has nothing to lose take it all away from me. I don't know. Where did that come from? That Kiki has nothing to lose? Y'all are like making one thing into something much bigger, because Kiki is clearly like admitted that she's on methadone. And so I don't know what any of this is like, but she's clearly working on it. People who have drug addictions also have relapses. Like, that shit happens. And it looks like her husband is in it with her for the long haul. And God bless her for having somebody, she's got her children. So we're not gonna sit up here and act like we're not gonna paint Kiki like she just in a ditch somewhere, waiting on a crack pipe. You know what I'm saying? So Marceau is definitely putting 20 on 10 when he's painting this picture. And her cousin is, she trying to get an understanding of what happened and without taking sides. Courtney is about as cute as she could be. Tiffany ain't never saw it for Kiki, so for her to come in talking about somebody don't have nothing to lose. Tiffany, that Tiffany is a mess. I don't know. She better be glad what's her name? Kiki was gone, because she was about ready to let somebody have it. You could have got it too, I feel like. Yeah, so Marcel and Tisha are sitting up there, trying to, like I said, discredit Kiki and making it seem like she's the one that brought these rumors, and she didn't start the rumors. Now, she helped spread the rumors because she was definitely giving Mel all the tea. And that's, Kiki, that's what people be looking at you crazy, because we know that Tisha and Mel don't even see it for each other like that. And so that's probably one of the things, mad or not, that I would probably not even bring up with Mel. When I got with Mel, I probably would never talk about Tisha. That's not ever, after that Christmas party, that would be have been. After that Christmas party, that would have been the last time that I brought up Tisha's name and Mel's present without Tisha being there. But and now you're going to take it a step further and telling her like the gossip that's out in the streets about her marriage. So it's not a good look. Like I said, they're trying to combine the two situations. And I feel like both Kiki and Marcel are doing the same thing. Like, every time they talk about the rumors, they bring up like Crime Stoppers and what she's been, what she's been accused of, and, how her behavior, because now ain't nobody said she had no relapse. Everybody's speculating, and they're only speculating because of the whole Crime Stoppers situation. That's the only reason I think people are on some, well, this whole slap Tisha in the face with the drink didn't help. But there was no other reason for people to be saying anything about Kiki and her addiction, except for, when she got caught out there with Crime Stoppers, it was like, why is she doing that? Because nobody has known her to be a thief. So everybody just is like, so what's going on there? That seems weird. You know what I mean? Even still, people are coming from a place that's more supportive, except for Marcel, because she keeps trying to put his business out there. So every time she does that, he gonna come for her. He gonna do the drug jokes, because that's what he over there doing, and it's making pretty much everybody uncomfortable. Courtney is clearly uncomfortable. Mel is like, let's don't do that. Everybody is kind of looking at him. All the women on the other side of the table are looking at him like, I mean, it's not funny though, Marcel. If that's the case, then it's not a funny thing. But he wants her to be seen as a liar and a drug addict. And it ain't working because they know Kiki. So like I said, they're coming more from a place of concern, and Marcel's coming from a place of trying to defend that he didn't do what people said he did. If Marcel was out here having the ladies of Huntsville try to offer him up a threesome, honey, I say go for it, Marcel. Like, it can't be any worse than anything else you've been doing out here. Marcel and his man thinking said, when wives get mad, the husbands have to fight. So Marcel says, he said the whole drug test thing in order to make Amin mad. He said when wives get mad, the husbands have to fight. So I'm guessing, like, since Kiki smashed that water in Tisha's face, he can't necessarily he took it out on Kiki. I don't think he knew what he was saying. I think Marcel was like trying to get at Kiki, and he forgot Amin was there. And when the shit popped off, that's when he went running. I do think though, because Courtney said, Stormy said, is that what you were doing to Courtney? Not Courtney at the end of the table, but Courtney, her husband. And he said, yeah, I guess. And she asked him, what would he have done if Courtney would have told him to stand up? And Marcel said, stand up. And she said, and get your ass beat. And he said, I'd be willing to get my ass beat. And so this is the thing, Stormy. I don't think it has so much to do with how he handled that situation. When wives get into it, the husbands have to fight. But I do think it makes sense when you say, Stormy, calling him a bitch. Like, he can't call you a bitch back. So he can call Courtney Mr. Steele to piss him off. You know what I'm saying? He can't shoot he can't shoot that bullet at you. So he gonna shoot it at Courtney. Stormy, stop putting Courtney in those positions. Like, if he would have been there that night, then that's why he didn't go. And this is the thing. You called the man a bitch repeatedly. And like he said, that's a check you can't cash. Like, what are you going to do? Fight Marcel? Maurice said, when you call a man a bitch, you do it in order to provoke him. And it's true. He's not wrong. That's what she was trying to do. Because, to be honest, Stormy, the whole shit was handled already. Courtney went over to Black. He had a conversation with Marcel. He left that waitress $100. Done. It's a wrap. You took it to Courtney. Courtney shut it down. There's no reason for you to be like in a business meeting calling this man a bitch and calling him, what should be calling him, feisty or sassy? She should, so yeah, you are trying to provoke him. You're trying to trigger him. And Stormy's like, if you're a bitch, you're a bitch. So you said you was a big bitch. And then she asked him, Martell, if I said you were a bitch, would you say I'm a bitch, or would you say don't call me that? And Martell was like, I would say don't call me that. And she said, and I would respect that. But Stormy, you know better than calling a man a bitch. Like, you're not dumb. You knew exactly what you were doing. So, they moved the conversation over a little bit. Kimmy asked Courtney, Kiki's cousin, if she thinks Kiki needs help. And Courtney is like, I haven't seen any of the violence and none of the stuff that y'all are talking about. I have seen like her anxious energy and her sweats. But again, they said that comes from with the methadone. I don't know what it comes from. I know Kiki been acting real suspect. And if you have an addiction problem, people are always going to suspect when you start acting shifty. And it's not so much like, it's not just the Crime Stoppers, it's the I was in the hospital. She's been doing a lot of things that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And if she had a relapse, she don't have to tell y'all that. I think if she had a relapse, then, you know, she's got her husband there and they need to work through it. And I think that's another thing. Like, I mean, takes that shit so personally because he's going through it too. At the end of the day, this is his wife, the mother of his children. They over there trying to like raise kids and for her to not be herself. You know what I mean? Courtney thinks that Kiki needs compassion, not ridicule, and she's right. Like, you know, Marcel and Tisha keep talking about what they did for her, you know, and they come from a place of hurt too. But don't do shit for me and then, you know, bring that shit up in a table full of people when I'm not around. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I feel Marcel in that he and Tisha feel like they've done, you know, whatever they've done for Kiki, you know, because the way he put it, like she was at her worst and then they were there for her. And they said like, when your mother wasn't there and your husband wasn't there, I don't know that they weren't there. We don't know that part of the story because Kiki wasn't there, but I do feel like people who have addictions definitely hide the truth from the people that they're closest to. So if she is somewhere in the middle of the night and she calls you, it's because she don't want to worry her husband or she don't want to like have to face him or her mother. You know what I'm saying? That's just adds to the humiliation, I'm sure. So they call you. She called Marcel and Tisha because she felt like it was a safe space to go. Now y'all throwing her business out there. Kiki, if you got this kind of business to be thrown out in the streets, then don't be discussing people's marriage and you know, throwing drinks in their face and giving them ammunition, you know, to put your business out there. You setting fire to the flame. Stormy defends Kiki to some extent, like Stormy says she's clean, she's not, she's working on it. And Marcel then challenges that. Like, are you sure? Have you ever been around somebody that's been on drugs? And Stormy's like, yeah, my best friend was on drugs. She used to stay with me, but now she doesn't anymore. And then Marcel's like, why not? And when he starts grilling her, she becomes emotional. And maybe she becomes emotional because she realizes, like, as much as you want to believe a person is doing the right thing, sometimes they are absolutely not. As much as you want to have faith that this person is working on their sobriety, they are absolutely not. And lying in your face. And so I feel like she got emotional because she probably seen that because she went through that with her friend. Now you're seeing in Kiki, like, what's really going on? You don't know. You can't stand. I'm not saying Kiki is on drugs, although I think something is hell going on. But you can't stand in defending her when you really don't know. Like, you think you know more than them because they know Kiki because they've been there through, you know, all of that. But Marcel does at least get up out of his seat and go apologize. I think he was so caught up in being right, like he always is, that he didn't take into consideration how, you know, that would be, you know, take her to a place of being emotional. So sorry, you know, it's funny how you can see Marcel soften up to other women. He softened up for Mel, he softened up for Stormy, and I don't never see him come, you know, I don't never see him treat Tisha that way. He almost stuns her in those moments, like, now see, now next time you'll listen to me and then we won't have to deal with this. That's generally how he treats her in those moments where she's feeling. Martell, Courtney, and Chris meet up at the gym. Martell over here pretending again like he's making meal plans for people. now, because he's a fitness guy. And I think I heard him say he like Hamburger Helper. Martell, you ain't over here making no fitness plan for no damn body. Jesus, we can all go to the gym and do some damn lunges. Courtney say his knees is bad. And so I ain't mad at that, because I tell you what, when you got bad knees, a lunge ain't your friend. You got to find some other kind of way to get your exercise in. The guys are kind of filling in Courtney on what happened at the cookout. Stormy gave him a little something, but he gets to get this version of what happened. Chris said Tisha looked like she came up out the swimming pool. That's how much water she had all over her. They laugh about that because as much as it was wrong, it was definitely funny. Tisha was soaked. Courtney automatically, because Stormy, Stormy filled him in, so he knows the gist of what happened. Courtney said he don't like Marcel's energy, or Marcel be making people want to whoop his ass. That's why Kiki's husband was probably over there ready to whoop his ass, because that's what Marcel do. Marcel be running off at the mouth and, make somebody want to slap him. And Martell was like, maybe so, but Stormy can't be running around here calling people no bitch either. And Courtney said she'll be all right. He ain't worried about that. Chris asked if he thinks him and Marcel should have a conversation, to come to some type of common ground. And Courtney's like, yeah, I'll talk to him, but it won't be a black. I don't need Marcel and Courtney to talk no more. Marcel already said he don't give a damn. He done lived his life without him this long. He doesn't really need him. And I mean, Courtney, if Marcel makes you feel some type of way, avoid him. Y'all can be in the same place at the same time without engaging with each other. It's real easy. Stormy too. Maybe if your wife, you have to admit that your wife stood up there and called that man a bitch. And so where do we go from here? Right? I'm just saying. Chris said Martell is still not out of that house. And Martell said he got 20-some days left. And now that sounds like a whole month. So Chris, don't bring that shit up anymore, because he ain't going nowhere. If you could sit around and chill and go to the party and go over to the gym with him, yeah, then you ain't worried about that house. And he's sitting up there saying he got 20 more days left. That's a month still. That means he ain't going nowhere. And y'all talking about he could go stay at the chateau or stay at Mel's house. Those are probably the two places on the planet where he cannot stay. So what he gonna do, Chris, is stay in that house. He don't give a damn about your friendship. He's like, we gonna make sure Chris is on this show some more to make up for me not leaving the house. And Chris, yeah, just don't do no more business with him. Don't find him no more property. Don't get into those type of situations with him no more, because you see how he played you. So Kiki and her husband are at a storage unit. Kiki said they got to move again. We didn't know Kiki was moving around that much, but yeah, she says they have to move again. Why is that storage unit so raggedy? What is going on in there? Who packed that thing? She talking about she need to put the toys on Facebook Marketplace, and her husband said we need to put them in the trash. So if you have things that need to go to the trash or go to Goodwill, why are you storing it in a storage unit? I wonder, what kind of housekeeper Kiki is, especially if she's over there struggling, you know what I'm saying, and she's been sick. So it seemed like Kiki been laying in the bed a lot, you know what I'm saying, and sick, not participating in the family situation. Well, anyway, they're moving because Amin wants their son to have a better opportunity. Apparently their oldest son is an athlete, and he will be in a better position if he goes to this certain school. And that would require you moving to a different place in order for you to be in that type of, in a school district. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm thinking, First of all, I hear a lot of parents do stuff like this. It don't always work out in the end, but I feel like a lot of parents, when they have a child that's an athlete, they be doing a whole lot of gymnastics to make sure these kids get the best opportunity possible in terms of their athleticism. I feel like if they owned a house, it'd be much harder to just be moving like that. So maybe they were renting a place over in wherever they at now, and now they're finna rent somewhere else. I guess, child, I rent my place. That's not my goal, and I'm damn sure not moving around to make sure somebody can play basketball, football, or any of those things. But I feel like also people do that. What you call it? Kelsey's parents was talking about how much they maneuvered their life in order to support the kids' football, not knowing like it paid off, but I would say most people it ain't gonna pay off like that. That being said, that's why they're moving. And then mail calls. And Kiki's like, yeah, girl, I'm down to the storage. And Mel's like, do you mind if I swing by? Who swings by the storage? Y'all could have found somewhere else to film this, but I guess Kiki and them is moving. And so it's a lot of, if that storage is looking the way it's looking, I can imagine what the new place looked like. Anyway, Mel is like, I just wanted to check on you. I checked on Tisha. I'm checking on everyone, and you better, because the first thing they say is, and ain't nobody checked on me, or you're the last person to check on me. And they all do that. And this happened, my dog died, and she's the only one that checked on me. So Mel did all her checking. She's checking in and she's checking in. Mel says she's never seen Amin out of character like that. I guess Amin is a very calm spirited person. He seems like he is, but he also, like any other human, can he got a limit, and Marceau, took him to his limit. Not to mention, I feel like he is taking it personally because on one hand, Marceau took him to his limit. On the other hand, Kiki is too. I mean, was in that kitchen talking about it's the whole lot. Like, can you imagine you over here trying to raise your children and work and provide for your family, and then now your wife down here on the news at the Crime Stoppers, and you go to work. It's Huntsville, Alabama. You go to work, and everybody like walking around talking about it, but they don't want to say nothing to you, and some might be saying something to you. Like, I mean, it's dealing with this shit just like everybody else is. So I feel like it's a lot of pressure on him. And so it probably wasn't hard for Marceau to push him to that limit. He's tired of it. And then you got Kiki literally behind him going, do it, do it, do it. Like she was like egging him on as if she really wanted him. That's how angry Kiki is. She drew that energy and out and cast it onto her husband, trying to get him to beat the shit out of Marceau. I mean, everybody was really surprised, and they were saying how much they like you. And she was like, even Tisha was saying, like, I love Amin. I'm sad that happened. And he's like, no, that's fake. That's phony. I believe him. I don't think there's this closeness. You don't love Amin. You're just mad at Kiki. Yeah, I think that tension has been there on both sides for a long time. Mel said, I get it, but if somebody threw cars and a drink at Kiki, I mean, you would have stepped in, and defended her. And Amin is like, it's not that he stepped in, it's that he threw out the whole drug reference. And he feels like that's hitting below the belt, and that Marcel's been holding that in, waiting to say that. Probably. I think he probably says it often. I think he probably uses that one every single chance he gets, whenever he gets irritated with Kiki, because he's like always joking about it. So yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, like I said before, I mean, if y'all got those kind of issues in the household, then your wife should refrain from tossing shit at people, because when she does, it's just low hanging fruit. It's easy to go there. It's easy to go like, what's wrong with you? Are you on drugs? Because that's not what people do normally. Normally if you get irritated, you just get up and walk away. That's what she should have did. But she was, all the way out, and y'all at them people's house acting a fool like that. Kiki says she wish she could like pull out of somewhere the mental, I don't know what the hell she called it, tenacity or whatever, however she put it. She just wish she could pull it down, reach down deep somewhere and like control that urge to anger, to act out in anger. She wish she could control it, but somewhere deep down, she's just not able to do that. And Mel was like, have you tried therapy, girl? Because we can't just walk around here tossing things at people. She says she is in therapy right now. I'm in therapy right now, but I haven't got to that yet. We haven't got to the anger management portion yet of my therapy. Listen, I don't have remorse for where we are, but I do have remorse for what I did. So I guess, Kiki, girl, I guess. Mel said, well, after they left, they talked about and joked a little bit about your addiction. And Kiki's like, oh, yeah, really? They think it's funny? Her and Amin both. It's not a joke. They were joking about it. They think it's funny. Kiki said that Marcel is hiding behind her previous drug use and her possible relapse. So for me, that solidified everything. Like it just came out of her mouth. She said possible relapse. She said accused, not convicted. That's the stuff, Kiki. The way she defends herself, it just all sounds, it sounds like a lie. I'm sorry. I don't really want to be over here like agreeing with Marcel because I think Marcel is also a lie, but the way she defends herself, I'm having therapy. I just didn't get to the anger management part yet. Girl. Well, Mel was like, look, girl, I am proud of your progress. I think you've done a great job at this point, like working on your recovery. And Kiki is like, yes, yes, yes. And Mel is like, so why don't we just shut it all down and you can take a drug test? And I got one right here. And that's where that ended. And with Kiki and Amin both looking a fool because she not gonna be able to take no drug test. Now, I've heard two different things. I've heard that if she's on methadone, that will show up on the drug test, and then I heard it will not show up on the drug test. I have seen like not copies, but I've seen like these little sheets on drug tests that it'll show you what is in your system. So yeah, it'll turn like a different color based on whatever it is you've been taking. So I'm thinking maybe if it's methadone, that's been accounted for. I don't know. I know Kiki ain't about to take no drug test. I'm like, damn, Mel, that was a blind sighting. Go ahead and pull out a drug test since you be up in here telling me how about you've been sick and everything, and I be caping for you just so I'm sure. So we're all sure. I wouldn't take no drug test if I was Kiki. But Kiki, again, you set yourself up, girl. You can't be behaving like this. And sometimes you do things that it's too hard to come back from because who have you established a relationship with, really? Stormy? Maybe. I don't know. But I guess we find out next week, y'all. I don't think she's gonna take it. She said already she want to see this dude take a lie detector test. We don't want him to take a lie detector test, Kiki. And I don't feel like you need to take a drug test. I think you need to get some help. And on that note, I want you to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Bye.